Hey guys, King Gath here, and in this video we're going to talk about common issues that come up that prevent you from playing Fallout 4. This is not necessarily related to my mods, although it does come up with them occasionally. These are issues in general with Fallout 4 you should be aware of. I'm seeing a lot of a certain one come up, and that prompted me to create this video. So here are some of the things that I might show you how to resolve. The infinite load screen bug, where you can't get past the mod screen or past your save file screen. The mods disabling themselves automatically. That's another common issue. And third, game crashing after you update or install a particular mod. So these are three issues I'm going to try and resolve for you guys. So the first one is a relatively new issue, and that's you set up a mod or you download a new mod, you've checked in your load order screen, you've got it checked in, and then as soon as you load back in the game, that mod is clearly not working. It's not loaded. You come back into the load order screen, it's unchecked. This is almost certainly a PC player only problem, but what it means is that you are not on the appropriate version of the game. So with the 1.162 patch of Fallout 4, they made a change to it to support additional ESL files. Without telling you the technical mumbo jumbo behind it, basically at that point, any of us mod authors who updated our mods now require at least that version of Fallout 4. So you can check that version by going into your Fallout 4 folder on PC, right-clicking on the exe and looking at properties, and you can see your version. So at the time of this recording, the current version of Fallout 4 is 1.10.163. You need to have 1.10.162 or higher if you're, in this case, if you're finding mods are doing this, where they're just unable to load into the game with them. This is a very common problem I've noticed. I think especially for people who have got a pirated copy of the game, because I think the pirated copy of the game doesn't go this high in version, and so you guys will not be able to load the latest version of mods. Now, I always keep every version of my mod updated, so I think 1.6.2 was released, I want to say November, December, probably December, looking at this date here. So if you want to grab any of my mods from pre-December 2019, you can go grab an older version. You won't have access to all the features, but you could still run them if you insist on running an older version of the game. So keep that in mind. And actually, the 12.19, this was probably when 1.6.2 came out, so you would have to probably go one version before that. But likely, if you can't load certain mods in the game, they were probably saved in the creation kit after that moment in time, and you will just need to update your version of the game. All right, so the next problem I see, and this one is a bear, especially for Xbox players, is the infinite load screen bug. And this will happen after you enable certain mods. So you'll come into the mod screen, maybe you download some more mods or you update some mods, and then you hit back, and it gives you that warning about it's going to reload the mods, and then nothing happens. Or sometimes I've even seen it where even just hitting back, it just seems to get stuck. You'll get that little, I keep trying to get that symbol to stay around, but that little symbol right there, that's the Vault-Tec logo with the spinning, you'll just get that and it'll never go away. For Xbox players, the first thing you should try and do is to crash out the game, and you can do that by hitting the Xbox button until it brings up the menu there, and then you highlight the game, and if you hit your start, I would always call it start button. I guess now it's menu button. I don't know what the one just above your right thumbstick, just to the left of the X. You click on that, and there should be an option to quit the game. So that's what you're going to want to try first, and then load back in. Now, there is one circumstance where that does not help. If you updated a mod and the mod's script data exceeds 64, it takes your total mod pool to more than 64 megs of script data, your game is effectively locked out until you delete all of the mod data. Now, I don't have a way to record on my Xbox to show you guys this, but if you report it to Fallout 4's Bethesda support, they'll walk you through it. You can probably find videos on YouTube of how to do this, but what you need to do is reset your mod data on your Fallout 4 installation, and then reinstall your mods one at a time, and try and exit out between each one. Basically, there's a limitation at the engine level where if all of your mods combined exceed 64 megs worth of script data, then your game cannot load. Now, normally this isn't a problem. You can just crash your game out and it'll just uncheck those mods that put you over the limit. But the problem is if you update a mod and that update pushes you over the limit, that doesn't happen. Now, all of a sudden, your game is just screwed and it'll look like you can never play Fallout 4 again. You can still play again, but you've got to reset your mod data on Xbox. For PC players, just disable a couple mods and you'll be fine. The most common occurrence that causes this, and this is why I hear about this more than most people, is city plans. City plans use a ton of script data. Now, we've pared them down substantially. We've cut them down to probably 35% of what they were at launch when we launched Rise of the Commonwealth. We only found out about the limitation after the city plan contest started. So if you start installing all of the city plans from the city plan contest, you will hit that limit inevitably, which is why on Xbox, we broke them into their own monthly mods. We never do updates of city plans to add more city plans on Xbox anymore because of this issue specifically. We don't want to ever trigger that update into this locked out state. So it should rarely happen. You would have to have a very, very tight load order. Like you would have to be at 63.5 megs and then update a mod that added a substantial amount of script data to ever have this happen. But it is still a possibility. So that's a potential solution for some of you guys on Xbox. Again, on PC, if you find that you're at infinite load screen, just start disabling a few mods until you can load in. It's not that mod's fault. It means you probably hit the script data limit in total. There's no way to check this script data limit, but I will tell you that city plans are the biggest users of script data in the entire Fallout 4 community. So those are a great candidate to start disabling to get yourself under the limit. Just disable the ones you're not using. City plans are actually unique in that once you've got them all the way up to level 3, you don't actually need the mod that provided them anymore. You can actually disable them in your load order. You can keep the mod around for next time you play, but you don't have to keep them installed. Once it's at level 3, if you disable that mod, you won't be able to refresh that city anymore, but you don't actually need it to keep all the items in place. Okay, now the third thing I want to talk about is the game crashing when you update a mod. And sometimes this can just happen in general. I'm going to load up a save real quick here. And this is not a save that has a bunch of stuff. This is not one that this is happening for me or anything. I just want to try and be in the game to show you what I'm talking about for trying to resolve this. So one of the most common things I see with Sim Settlements updates is that there will be some number of players who tell me they cannot update the mod on their save without it crashing the game. I actually have a save file myself, my Raider playthrough. I cannot directly upgrade past the current version of Sim Settlements I'm on without doing this trick. And I just haven't bothered to go do it because I'm currently not playing that save file in my Let's Play series. But what will happen is something will get updated in the mod. Now, there are two things that can happen. One of these means the mod author screwed up and you can never update it. And the other means you can update it. You just need to do a tweak. And Sim Settlements always falls under the latter when this happens. I never do the first thing that causes a save file to be incompatible with the mod going forward. So that first thing, I'll just tell you guys that some mod authors will do this because maybe a mod author will hear it and they'll never do it again. If they delete something out of their mod, if they delete an item, and I'm not talking about getting rid of a texture file or something, I'm talking about delete an item from their plugin. So mod authors, you'll know what that means. If they delete an item from their plugin and it was in your save file and that object existed somewhere in the world, it can corrupt your save file and you can never load that mod again, that version again. So that's one way that can happen. That can cause game crashes. It can cause save file corruption. It's terrible. You should never delete forums once you've released, mod authors should never delete forums once you've released your mod into the wild. That's just not fair to people because even if you update it and put warnings, we all know that very few people read our descriptions, much less our update notes. So just don't do it. Just don't delete forms. You can, replace them if you need to, but leave the form in your plugin. Okay, the other way, and this is what happens with Sim Settlement sometimes, is a update will occur to an object, and it will be an object that is loaded in memory at the time, and usually it has to happen there has to be a script operating on it at that exact moment in a way where the data doesn't match up to the save file anymore. It's very rare. But it happens occasionally, especially especially with Sim Settlements when you're using a ton of city plans because there's just so many items loaded, so many scripts running. It's much more likely to happen. When you run into this occasion, say you're playing Sim Settlements, you got a bunch of city plans going, you got a bunch of stuff going on, you upgrade the mod, and now your game starts crashing. What you'll want to do is roll back Sim Settlements and then get out of your settlement in that save file. So you roll back your Sim Settlements version. I keep all versions up on PC. On Xbox, unfortunately, nothing you can do about this. This is just a real crappy part of this game engine. We do have a rollback patch for Conqueror, so you can try that. You can try rolling back Conqueror to see if it will help, but We do not currently have that for Sim Settlements. I am open to supporting that if somebody on my team wants to do that, but I'm not going to volunteer anybody, and I'm not going to take volunteers from the general community. But if somebody on my team hears this and wants to volunteer for this duty, I'd be open to supporting a rollback. It's just a lot of work to keep 2 sets of the code and all of the ESP files and everything, and then re-upload them, and then remember to revert my code. It's just a big trouble spot. But anyway, the reason I'm running out of here is I'm just trying to show you guys what you should do if you want to ensure that your upgrade goes a little smoother. So you can see as I'm getting away from my settlement, you'll see that the LOD is starting to kick in over there. If you get out that far, that's probably good enough to where all your settlements are in LOD mode. But if you really just want to make sure, the best thing you can do is go to another cell in that character. And now what I'm talking about is you've rolled back some settlements and you are trying to get your save file in a state where it can correctly update the mod. So one thing you could do is just walk outside of town, make sure the LOD is loaded so that you are not standing in the settlement, then make another save file and try updating again. If that doesn't work, the next step to try is to get into Diamond City. And Diamond City in particular is one, you could actually use Good Neighbor as well. These two in particular are great because they're their own world spaces. And we're just going to kill all hostiles. But the beauty of those is they're their own world spaces, so way less stuff is loaded in the world, and they don't have settlements in them. So there's almost zero chance of any of this or anything from the update to Sim Settlements or any other mod that might be causing this, the update to the mod from affecting you negatively. But this could happen to other mods besides Sim Settlements. Any type of large mod has a potential for this to happen. The best thing you can do is get out of the area where the things from that mod exist, and then save your game from there and try updating again. Now, there are occasions where that still won't work and you'll still be unable to upgrade for that particular save. In those cases, it's almost always going to be script backup. So to check on that, what you're going to do is download the mod FallRim Tools. Again, this is an option that is only available for, and yes, I have loads of folders for my save files because I keep that many save files. But it's called FallRim Tools. You can get this from the Nexus. And this is something that's only available on PC, obviously. Again, another thing where Xbox players kind of get the shaft for what you guys have to do is just wait it out and hope. But if I say something like load up this exact save we're in right now, you can load this up. And if you look at your active scripts here, this little folder, and your suspended stacks, if you see a number in these, and generally if it's just single digit, it's fine. But if you start seeing double digit or triple digit numbers appearing in these 3 columns, your save file is overloaded with Papyrus data. You need to chill out somewhere and just let your save sit. Now with Xbox players, you can't confirm that there's script data, which sucks because you might just waste your time doing this, but you can wait it out. So to wait it out, basically set your character in somewhere like Diamond City. Diamond City, again, great spot for this, and just leave it there. Walk away from your PC, walk away from your Xbox, come back in an hour. Move it around. So especially on Xbox, I think Xbox will drop you back to the home screen after a little while, and just keep doing that until you're ready to play games again. So this is great. Maybe do this in the morning, and then just mess with it all day. Usually, you can try every hour. Try saving it after an hour. Try updating the mod, but obviously that can get tiring to do that. And again, with Xbox, you have no way to roll back, so less likely for that to be useful on Xbox. But just continuously let the thing save. If you're on PC, you could save at every hour. I would save as a new save each time. Go back into FallRim and load up that new save you just made. Check its scripts and see if they're going down. And as long as they're heading down, once they get into single digits, that update should work just fine. So hopefully this helped somebody out there. There are so many weird problems. This last section, this long one, was definitely more likely to hit with some settlements. But those other 2 issues I see people complaining about all the time, they're just little quirks with Fallout 4. And now that you know them, hopefully you can prevent yourself from running into them or help somebody else out with those.